It's 10 minutes past 8. And yes, let's talk infertility in women. Aha. So based on popular demand, that the doctor who was on the show on Tuesday last week should be brought back today. We have a part 2 discussion on infertility for you today. This time, it's about women, because last week when we had the conversation, we talked about infertility in women. So when you are tweeting us this morning, hashtag Morning Crossfire, hashtag infertility in women is what you can put on your tweet when you tweet us, so we can trace it and read your question to Dr. Ajayi. We'll be taking a lot of your questions, as we did last week on the show, because that was why we got a request from you, so that we can bring Dr. Ajayi back here and you can interact with him directly. So, and we have brought him back. Dr. Abayomi Ajayi is a gynecologist and fertility expert, and founder of Nigeria's premier fertility clinic, Nautical Fertility Center in Lagos. He's back on the show once again. He's a fertility doctor with over 3 decades of career in the medical profession. Before I bring Dr. Ajayi in, here's a quick background to infertility in women that you should know. The World Health Organization, in a 2017 research by Fertility Hub Nigeria, reported that 1 in 5 couples in the world have infertility. 1 in every 5 couples. Now, while experts say that more than 30% of women in Africa are unable to have children, more than 30%. So prevalence of infertility in sub-Saharan Africa is higher. It's very high. 30%. As a matter of fact, with 10 to 30% of couples affected in Nigeria. Just as a matter of fact, between 10 and 30% of couples are affected in Nigeria. So infertility is a prevalent situation worldwide, affecting about 8% of couples. This is according to a 2019 research. So in many cultures, childless women suffer discrimination. They suffer stigmatization. They even ostracize them in some cultures. So infertility usually wrongly regarded as female problem in Nigeria. We know that if a couple have been together for some time now and there is no child in that marriage, it's very easy to quickly attribute it to the woman. So this subject of infertility or infertile women, to satisfying their needs and end their suffering. So they just tag them. So sometimes, by resorting to different forms of treatment, including traditional herbs, women go extra mile to avoid being stigmatized, being subjected to some kind of treatment by the larger society. Recall that last week on the show we mentioned that 1/3 of every infertility cases are caused by the male and female reproductive issues respectively, and that 1/3 by both male and female reproductive issues or by an unknown cause, because it's also possible that the factors are not known. And what I've just said now is not just my statement. It's from the National Institute of Child Health and Human Development. In spite of all of these things out there, guess what? Infertility is still linked to women. Dr. Abayomi joins us right now. Let's speak with Dr. Abayomi Ajayi. Doctor, good morning to you.
Hey, good morning. How are you today?
I'm doing okay. It's good to see you again, sir. You're making a comeback.
Thank you for having me back.
Now let's talk infertility in women, Dr. Ajayi. Women have
Yeah.
been they've been struggling with infertility for long now. It's one of the commonest reasons for women to seek gynecological consultation. Once they see that there is a delay of some sort, the first thing they would think is they are the ones with a problem, and they tend to seek the medical advice of people like you. Women are usually the ones suspected or blamed for infertility in our society here. You're an expert. You've been dealing with this for over 3 decades. What exactly is women infertility? What does it mean?
Yes, I guess you said it in your introduction. Female infertility is when the inability of a couple to conceive is directly linked or to the woman, or the woman is contributing to the reason why they're not able to achieve a conception. So, and like you said, it's as common as male infertility. I guess that's the shocker.
Yeah.
For many people in Africa, because just like you said in your intro, many people attribute infertility to women, wrongly so. Yeah, but women also contribute majorly to infertility.
But what are those causes, especially in women now?
Okay, in this environment, the commonest reason why a woman might not be able to conceive would be that her tubes are blocked. Okay. Now, the tubes could be blocked from either an infection. The infection could be from sexually transmitted disease, could be after childbirth, could be after an abortion, or it could just happen de novo. Okay. Now, after that, the tubes, then we come to the uterus. Okay. And like you said, uterine fibroid is something that is associated a lot with infertility.
Right.
We have also some things that were not as big as fibroids that we call polyps. They're just like small fibroids, but they're really very tiny, which can be in the uterus too. All right. And then we have hormonal problems. When the hormones are just not working properly. You know, for a woman to ovulate, that is to release an egg each month, the hormones have to work together. And then for this to happen, if for any reason this is not happening, then we have what we call hormonal problems. And so these are also, but also there is a very tiny, weeny part of infertility that can be as a result of the fact that the cervix is producing some things that is killing the sperm. So everything might be okay.
Wow.
But when the sperm comes in contact with the cervix, which is where the man deposits his own stuff, they just kill the sperm. So there's a tiny, weeny bit of infertility that also is caused by that.
Is there a treatment for that last part, the last one, the cervix problem?
Yes, there is. That's why, you know, when you were saying some things, when you were in your intro, you said sometimes is unexplained.
Yeah.
This part is part of unexplained infertility, where the usual test that you do for infertility can still not give us why the couple is unable to conceive. And that's why what we say as doctors, that doctors don't treat test results, we treat human beings. So the fact that you tell me that your test results are normal and you're still not able to conceive shows that there's something wrong that we probably cannot pick up from our test results. And that also deserves to be treated.
I've heard Dr. Abayomi, I've heard so many times when after all the tests, because I mean they just couldn't explain it, they would just say, just keep trying and pray to God. How does that sound, really?
Ridiculous. Because just like I said now, the fact that you've not found any test, any reason, does not mean that there is nothing wrong. Okay. As we look, the more we look, the more we will see. All right. But sometimes what we ask ourselves is, okay, if you look further, because there are some other tests, don't forget that, like I said last week, there are 4 basic tests for infertility. And this is the test. This test will detect about 85-90% of the reasons why a couple is not able to conceive. All right. But there is this 10 to 15 that we still cannot get from those tests. There are some other tests that can be done but they're like advanced tests.
Okay.
But you ask yourself sometimes, is it the test that the woman needs or the treatment? Because the more highfalutin the test is, the more expensive it is. All right. But we also have some reasons why people you might not be able to get the reason for the infertility from their test results. And we can work with those ones as well. And because the most important thing, I think one good thing that IVF has afforded us is that even when we don't know what is causing the problem, we can get you pregnant.
We'll talk about IVF in a moment, but Dr. Ajayi, let's take some thought very quickly, because I know that a lot of people, especially women and men, couples, are listening right now, and they would want to get some a little bit of clarity into whatever situation that they are in right now. So if you're listening, it's time for you to ask because, like I said, this is just going to be entirely driven by you, the listener, this morning, so you can get because Dr. Ajayi, before he comes back, might be a while on the show. So let's make use of this time that we've got him on the show and ask all the questions that you want to ask him. Yeah, just put them out there. 0700 993 993 993. That is 0700 993 993 993. You are free to be anonymous if you want to be anonymous. Nata, Colette, don't screen the calls, right? Don't screen the calls. Let's have people calling and be anonymous if they want to be anonymous. If you don't want to be anonymous, you are free to tell me your name, okay? Okay, now that we've got that out of the way, you can also tweet us at Nigeria Info FM, hashtag Morning Crossfire, all right? At Nigeria Info FM, hashtag Morning Crossfire. Kunle is in Festac. Kunle, good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, Sadiq, and good morning, Dr. Ajayi.
The name is Sheriff. Well, go on.
Yeah, sorry.
It's okay.
sorry. Yeah, and Dr. Ajayi. In fact, I had to stay on. I was about going out. Really, I was hearing what you're discussing on that.
That's good.
Now.
That's great.
Okay. It's actually lateral PCOS. Lateral PCOS. I don't know if Dr. Ajayi can give further explanation on causes, how terminal is it? Should we be worried? Because my wife just recently did a test, and that's what showed that she has. And, it's really been getting us worried, reading up on it. Gone to several doctors, local, private, been doing different tests. It was the last one that just brought out this lateral PCOS. In fact, we've done about 2-3 tests, which none of them brought this out. And, there's this continuous bleeding also. But that was what brought about the other tests that were done.
All right. Kunle, stay on the line in case doctor wants to ask you a question. Sure. Dr. Ajayi, Kunle is on the line.
Did I hear lateral PCOS?
Yes.
Because there is nothing like that. Okay, there is PCOS. All right. I will explain to the way that Kunle will understand what PCOS means. It means polycystic ovarian syndrome. Okay, forget the big word. What this means is that somebody who has polycystic ovaries has, I was talking about ovulation and the fact that hormones have to work in sync for you to be able to release eggs.
Just now.
Now, the people who have, people who have polycystic ovaries.
Hello?
Hold on, Doc. Kunle, you can hang up now and listen to your radio, okay?
Okay, I should hang up.
Yes, thank you. Doc, please go on.
Okay, so people who have polycystic ovaries, that's their own nature. That's the way they're wired, okay? That's the way their ovaries are. Now, what causes this is because there's hormonal imbalance in the body.
Right.
And therefore, they don't release eggs every time. So some of the eggs that are not released are captured in different stages of development. So you have small eggs all over the place, which did not finish the sequence of development to be released as ovulation.
Right.
So such people, and that's why they're called polycystic ovaries. So you cannot have a part of the ovary being polycystic. You understand? That's why I said when you say lateral, that people go to all kinds of places. And the diagnosis of polycystic ovaries really and truly cannot be made from scan alone.
Okay.
There are 3 things that you have to look for for you to say someone has polycystic ovaries. All right, the person will not be ovulating regularly, and therefore menstrual cycles will not be regular. Usually, they have less than 8 menstrual periods in a year. All right. Two, they usually have male hormones. Both men and women, we have the same hormones, but in different proportions. All right. We have more testosterone. All right. And therefore, these women tend to have a higher level of testosterone. So they can have some things that resemble men, especially in their hair distribution. That's why you see some women are bearded, some of them, and then they could have some male hair distribution in their abdomen. But this is not abnormal. This is just who you are. You understand what I mean?
Okay.
And then also, this also could be reflected in their blood tests, where you see that the male hormone is a little bit elevated in them. And the third thing is the finding of polycystic ovaries on scan. Now, for you to be able to make a diagnosis of polycystic ovarian syndrome, you need 2 out of these 3 things to be present. So, having only polycystic ovaries on scan is not enough diagnosis.
Okay.
The doctor needs to sit with the patient and see this, because young women also can have things that look like polycystic. Young girls, especially in their early 20s, women can have a lot of ovarian system, can have a lot of follicles that makes it look like a polycystic ovaries on scan. So one should be careful before you are labeled. Get to see a gynecologist.
Dr. Abayomi, please.
But if you
Yes, go on, Doc.
Yeah.
Go on.
But if you have polycystic ovarian syndrome, it has consequences, because you are not ovulating regularly.
Okay.
It might delay your conception. All right. 2, if the other things, for example, if such a person now marries a man who has low sperm count, of course, the problem becomes multiplied, and they might need to see a fertility doctor. But also, if you have polycystic ovarian syndrome, you could be predisposed to diabetes and hypertension, especially in later life, in your 40s and 50s.
Wow. All right.
So that's why the diagnosis is important.
But it can be handled. It can be treated, doctor.
Oh, sure. Well, it can be treated, but not cured, because, like I said, that's the way you are wired.
Okay.
So, and that's why weight loss, life modification is important for such people. They're not people who should put on weight anyhow. So those things are the things that's why the diagnosis is important, not just that somebody sees many follicles on the scan and it says it's polycystic ovarian syndrome.
Right. Doc, let's go on a break. When we return, we'll take, I can see loads of tweets that are coming in already. We'll be taking the tweets and the calls. The WhatsApp messages are also dropping. We'll take all of them as much as we can. Let's not say all of them. As much as we can. And Doc, you try and be very brief with these replies, these responses, so we can take as many as possible. All right, Lagos, stay here. We'll be back in a moment.
This is your number one station.
99.3.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk. Morning Crossfire on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Absolutely, we're back on the Morning Crossfire 99.3 Nigeria Info. Dr. Abayomi Ajayi is still with us on Skype. You can watch him live on Facebook and YouTube as we speak. Facebook.com/Nigeria Info FM. You can watch Dr. Abayomi and myself there right now. You can also see Dr. Abayomi on YouTube, youtube.com/Nigeria Info FM. You can drop your comments, your questions for him on those platforms, and I will be taking them. I've got some that have come in already on Facebook. Let's start with Facebook message. Dr. Ajayi, welcome back. Ismail Olabayo Oladejo on Facebook says, "Good morning, Sheriff. I want to ask the doctor in the house, what happened to a man who anytime he has sex with a woman, the woman must be pregnant with twins, and not only woman, he has impregnated with twins." I don't understand what you're saying. Okay, I think the bottom line is that he always, make twins with women.
He's not supposed to be on this program. We're talking about infertility.
Exactly. Exactly. Let's take another message, doctor, because we've got one here already on Twitter as well. So let's quickly look at this one. Quite Oluwa Toby says, "Is it impossible for?" I don't know whether this is relevant to this conversation, but this is what the person is saying. Is it possible for a woman to be pregnant and not show on scan for up to 4 months? There are pregnancy symptoms, belly getting swollen, period missed till date, but scan initially showed retained product. Later, no something, but baby kicking. That's what the person is saying.
That smells like a scam to me.
A scam?
Yeah, because you will see, if you like the pregnancy, you will see it on scan. There's so many things flying around now, cryptic pregnancy, all this kind of, you will see a baby on scan. Let's put it that way.
Okay, interesting. Let's take this call in and talk about IVF. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, Doctor Mr. Sheriff. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
How is it, sir? Doctor, good morning. I want to find out what is the issue if a man have a problem, 2 children, and they continue to struggling to get more. What is the reason that both the two parties, both the wife and the man, they cannot get more? What can be the reason?
Okay, when there is delay, he was asking if you already have kids and then you experience delay. You can't have, you want more, but you can't have.
Okay, thank you. Fantastic question. That's what we call secondary infertility. That's what I was saying, that sometimes your tubes get blocked even after a childbirth. Okay, if there is infection after a childbirth, it's possible that your tubes can get blocked. And it's also possible for the condition we call endometriosis to get worse and then blocks the tube. The first one comes easily. But the commonest reason actually will be age, especially in women. If a woman marries at, let's say, 37, she gets pregnant the first time, no issue. She nurses the baby, she's 39 or 40, wants to have another one. It's possible that there might be a lot of delay. But once there is a delay, the definition of infertility is tried for 1 year.
Right.
Once there's a delay, you need to see the doctor so that we find out what the problem is, so that you can quickly avail yourself of treatment.
All right. Hello, good morning to you.
Morning, Sheriff.
Good morning.
Ajayi Suba.
Welcome.
Thank you. I thank you for bringing this topic this morning. I just want the first analysis you mentioned. Fertility, especially in this our black race, is a problem. And within our custom, you are very right, Sheriff. If an husband and wife marry for some years and there's no fruitful children, it's a problem. Apart from being caught, apart from the shame. So, but the issue now is this. According to doctor, maybe diseases that cause infertility or whatever. But I now discover that some doctors who are not competent enough that, cause problem to the tube, in the process of operation. And this has been happening, and we have a lot of doctors that have been sanctioned on this particular line. But apart from this, you see, the IVF, which is an alternative, because once a tube is blocked, it can never be replaced. And that is the tendency of this IVF coming along. But the cost of IVF is not bearable to the common people. And the government is not sensitive enough to help the masses. I want doctor, being the person on the field, to see how Nigerians can be assisted in this way. You remember, Sharif, that brilliant lady that died some days ago, which some of the big guys went and, I don't know, is a philanthropy woman. He did IVF more than 3 times. And he now assists some people. After, it's not successful, he assisted some people in doing this IVF with his own money. And he helped those children. But the cost of IVF, which is not unbearable to the common people in Nigeria, that is what I want doctor to assist.
All right.
And this is where I expect government, because some of these things...
Thank you, Alhaji Zubra. Your point is made. Dr. Ajayi, let's talk about IVF, really. The processes. I've heard a lot of stories as to how tedious the entire thing is. Can you break it down for us? I've heard women saying that you have to wake up at this time, you have to maintain this time to administer this time to administer that. It's tedious. Sometimes it can be, you can have reaction to it and everything. What is it exactly?
Well, thank you so much, Sheriff. Let's settle some things, because this will probably help us. IVF is based on technology. All right. It's just like you want a phone. All right. Since we don't manufacture the phones in Nigeria, it's either you want to buy the standard. That is, Apple is Apple everywhere in the world.
Right.
But you know what you have to pay to get Apple phone. So, but let's go back to this process of IVF. Now, IVF means in vitro fertilization. That means fertilization taking place outside the body. All right. Now, reproduction is divided into 2 parts. There is fertilization, there is implantation. All right. Fertilization, the sperm and the egg coming together and forming what we call an embryo. Implantation is the embryo attaching into the uterus of the woman and becoming a baby, hopefully.
Right.
All right?
Right.
So in the part which we do outside the body is just fertilization. So we bring the sperm and the egg together. You know why there is infertility is because the sperm and the egg have not been able to come together, either because your tubes are blocked, either because you are not releasing any egg regularly or stuff like that, just like we said. So we now make that to happen outside the body. But the problem is that if the egg or the sperm sense that they're outside the body, they will die. So you have to make sure that's what IVF does, just provide the conditions in the body.
Right.
The CO2 level in the body, the temperature in the body.
Right.
We now provide, that's why we have incubators. All right. So when we bring the sperm and the egg together, we put them in the incubator. Now, the way we bring the sperm and the egg together now differs on the problem that the couple have. And that's why we always tell people that IVF is, if you're doing it properly, it's individualized.
Right.
For example, if the sperm count is bad, very bad, the technique we are going to use to bring the sperm and the egg together is different from when the sperm count is good. All right. So when we now formed an embryo, now we put it back into the uterus. And now from that point in time, it's like you have planted maize. All right. You can't go back the next day and go and dig whether it's growing or it's not growing.
Right.
So that's why we wait for 2 weeks to see whether the body has accepted it or has rejected it.
Right.
So what I'm trying to say here is that the result, if everything is working well in the IVF clinic, and that's why we say go to IVF clinics of repute. If everything is working out in the IVF clinic very well, then the result is dependent on the materials which you gave us that were used. And that's why sometimes we also tell people that, for example, you see some 45-year-old coming to say, I want to use my eggs. We know that from all over the world, the chances that you get pregnant using your own eggs at 45 is less than 5%. If you are ready to do a business that has a success rate of less than 5%, you're welcome. But it's our responsibility to let you know that. So that's what IVF, once we have replaced the embryo into the body, nature takes control after that. So that's why we also say there's a God factor in IVF, because the moment we are finished, but it's very important that we deliver the best condition of embryos into the body. This what determines the best condition of the embryo is both the products that we have used and the condition in the laboratory in which the IVF was done, and the skill of the doctor who is going to transfer back into the woman. So if a doctor has just done a few cycles in his life, it cannot be compared to somebody that has done 200, 500, 1,000. Do you understand me? So those are the things that affect success in IVF.
Let's quickly, before we go to the phone lines, all my lights are blinking, Doctor. Let me ask you this question very quickly. You mentioned the age factor, and I'm wondering, because I've heard about people freezing their egg before. Do we do that in Nigeria? And if a lady wants to freeze her eggs, at what age would be the best time to freeze one's eggs?
Sheriff, it's $1 million question. We do it in Nigeria. And I have so many eggs frozen. People freeze eggs for different reasons. Some are for medical reasons, and some are for social reasons. Social meaning that you don't have a husband yet, and you are aware that the biological clock is clicking. And that is one of the reasons why people freeze also for cancer. Now, when we do that, well, it's not as common as we want it to be in Nigeria, because what I tell people is that I see a lot of women, just because they want to have children, they marry idiots as husbands. You see a very accomplished woman, because she wants to have a baby, she goes on to, come on, seriously, maybe because I have girls and women as my children, so I'm very protective of women. You understand what I mean?
Yes.
Because you can freeze your eggs. And the good thing is that if you freeze your eggs, for example, if you freeze at 30, if you come at 38, your eggs are still 30 years old. And to your question, the best time to freeze your eggs is before you are 35. The earlier, the better. Because you see, women, like I said on another program, women are like warehouses. They come with all the eggs that they're going to use in a lifetime. So, and the funny thing is that these eggs are used in such a funny way. The best ones are the ones that go first. So by the time you are in your 35, by the time you are 37, half of your best eggs are gone. So it's important that you make decisions pretty early and quickly. So if you don't find a husband, please, you can freeze your eggs. And there's so many companies that are doing it now abroad, but in Nigeria, we can't even do it. We can't even treat tuberculosis yet, free, successfully. So I think so, but it's possible. So I think I've answered your question about egg freezing. Yes. I'm very passionate about egg freezing anyway.
You're very passionate about it.
Oh yes, because it gives the women some time to be able to choose and make sure that they're with the right guy. You understand what I mean? So it's not because biological clock is clicking.
Yeah. You are in this space. Do you think women our women are aware, despite the pressure that they face every now and again? Are they aware that they can actually freeze their eggs for as long as they want?
Well, I'm not sure how aware they are. But we're seeing some people coming to ask us about how the success of this and whatever. Yeah, the options. But but we know again that probably cost might be an issue also.
Yeah.
But it's something that people should consider. In fact, some people are saying that it's a gift that a father who can afford it should give his daughter when he turns 30 and doesn't have a man in her life.
I have one more question before we go to the phone lines. And the question is IUI. Tell us about that, because we've talked about IVF. How about IUI?
Well, IUI is basically not for female infertility, because for you to IUI means intrauterine insemination.
Right.
It means you are going to inject prepare sperm into the vagina of the patient so that it can swim its way up. So for it to be able to swim its way up, that means the sperm also must be of average quality at least.
Okay.
All right. And the tubes must be open. That's why I said it's not for female infertility. The tubes must be open. And so but we see sometimes that the IUI is being misused. Some people even think it's because that is the only thing I can afford. You know, your two tubes are blocked and you are saying you want to do IUI. It's like throwing money away because it's not likely to ever work. So one of the things is that people must know the indications for each treatment. You see, because I get some people who come and say, look, you see that the two tubes are blocked, and they say, oh no, I want to do IUI. I say, no, you cannot do IUI because you are not likely to get the success that you desire.
Right. Let's go to the phone lines, doctor. Then we'll go to WhatsApp in a moment. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Permit me to be anonymous.
Oh, please, go on. Go on.
Okay, doctor read one tweet about being a scam or not. I want to clarify that I actually sent that tweet.
You said what? Can you repeat that?
The first tweet you read about pregnancy not showing up.
Okay. Okay.
It actually showed positive at the initial stage.
Okay.
After some bleeding and all that.
Okay.
The scan showed retained products and all that.
Okay.
Afterwards, there are signs of baby still kicking and nothing on
the scan.
Has not come back. Yes. Has not come back after 1 to 3 months. So
is the pregnancy still on right now?
Yes, the belly is getting swollen and bloated also. Yes.
Okay.
I want to know if there's anything like that, if it's possible or not. This is not about scam or anything.
Okay. All right. Thank you. There you go, Doc. The test showed positive initially.
Sheriff, I don't mean that he is a scam.
Okay.
I mean he's being scammed. That's what I mean. Not that he is the scam. Because, you see, if there is a pregnancy, you will see it on scan. So if you cannot see a pregnancy on scan, it's not a pregnancy, even if the belly is shooting up. I know what I'm talking about. I know a lot of things that happen around me. So, no, I'm not saying that he is a scam.
Okay. All right.
He needs to go and see a gynecologist to help him.
Let's go to YouTube. We have a message on YouTube that says, my wife was pregnant for 7 months without any sign. It was that same 7 years after series of scan we later saw the baby. Okay. That's the message from YouTube. Dr. Ajayi, the wife was pregnant for 7 months without any sign at all. And I can't get the second part where he said it was the same 7 years after series of scan we later saw the baby. I can't get that part.
Neither can I.
Okay. Let's take this call, then we go to WhatsApp. Hello, good morning to you. We lost that call. Let's see who we've got here. Hello, good morning. We lost that as well. Good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I'm Mr. James calling from Badagry.
Mr. James, go on.
Yeah, please, I want to ask, if woman has a inside fibroid, can she conceive? And she have been having, one time ago, she had a pregnancy about 9 months, the baby died on her womb. Then luckily we removed the baby and saved the life of my wife. And then since then she have had a 4 times a miscarriage. Since then, that time she find out now she has an inside fibroid. Since then she have not even conceived inside the womb. So I don't know, since then she had not conceived. I don't know what is wrong by then. Then we have gone to many doctors, and I don't know if it's to operate it.
Okay.
If it's to operate it, or if she can also conceive. So I want to know that from the doctor.
But did you do any scan? Did fibroid show any? The scan show any fibroid?
Yes, she did.
Okay. All right. There you go, Doc. Fibroid scan, miscarriages.
Yes. Wonderful question as well. Not every fibroid needs to be removed, but if it's causing miscarriages, then it needs to be removed. Especially if I can get what he's saying, that it's inside, if it's inside where the baby should be, then it needs to be removed. But let me sound a note of warning also. If you don't go to the right place, see, this idea of cost, I know it's important, but being the main prime determinant of everything in healthcare is messing up a lot of people. Okay. Because if the fibroid is where the baby should be, the best way to remove it is through what we call hysteroscopy, which is like a telescope that they put through the vagina into the cervix, and then we can remove the fibroid where the baby should be. If you go through the abdomen, that means you have to cut through the abdomen into the uterus before you get inside the uterus. And the doctor has to suture it back. Anytime you suture anything, you run the risk, no matter how good the doctor is, you run the risk of scars. If you have scars where the baby should be, the chances that you get pregnant is slim. Because you see, the inside of the uterus where the baby should be, when you are not pregnant, the volume is only 5 mils. So if you have a 2 cm scar where is about 5 mils, you know what the percentage that is taken off. And therefore, it becomes very difficult for such people even to get pregnant, even with IVF. So the going to the right place is very, very important to remove fibroids that are inside where the baby should be.
Fantastic. So, Doc, we have another message here on YouTube. Sumbo sent this one in, and Sumbo says that, Sumbo, I don't understand this particular one. Maybe you resend it, but let me just tell Doc what you're saying. He said, please, my wife is sensitized. We've lost 5 pregnancies. Any way out? That's what he said. Do you understand the sensitized part?
I have a fair idea.
Okay.
It's there's a blood group thing that we talk about resource factor.
Okay.
Because that's what causes women to lose pregnancies. Yeah. So if somebody who is resource positive and somebody who is resource negative, when they have a child and the child is resource positive, taken after the father, then you can produce some antibodies, which subsequent pregnancies will now suffer from, are likely to suffer from. So if that is the case, yes, I think this is not a case for just the hospital nearby. You need to go to a good hospital for you to be helped. And that's what I keep saying, that healthcare has gone beyond choosing a doctor because the hospital is next door to your house. You understand what I mean?
Right.
It's gone beyond choosing a hospital just because the doctor and your husband are classmates or they are friends.
Right.
You must know what can they offer you.
Right.
It says that nobody buys a Mercedes Benz and takes it to a Toyota mechanic.
Doc, are you there? Doc. Okay. Oh, my word. Doc, are you back? Oh, goodness. Just as we're about to wrap up on the show. Goodness me. Okay, Doc, I'm so sorry. We have to end this at this juncture because it's 4 minutes to the top of the hour. Unfortunately. But here is what we're going to do.
Hello?
Oh, Doc is... Oh, wow, Doc is back. Great, awesome. I thought we lost you for a moment.
Yeah, you did.
It's good to have you back, Doc.
Thank you.
We need to wrap off right now, Doc, because we're out of time. But how can people reach you? Because questions are still pouring in. I will try and forward you some of these questions. I will try and do that. But how can people reach you, Doc?
My email is info@nordicalagos.org. Okay. I'm not sure whether phone numbers are allowed on air. So, but I think
if you can withstand the pressure, I mean, yeah, it's all on you, Doc.
No,
if you don't want to sleep at night again, it's all on you. I mean, yeah, because I know. I know that people will call and call and call and call and call. But if it's info@nordica.org, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And of course, you could try a number. I mean, 0807 4343 714.
Can you repeat that again?
Okay, 0807 4343 714 or 0702 627 7855.
So, all right. Great, Doc. We have to leave it here at this juncture. Thank you so much. Back to back, you have answered our calls to come talk to Lagos and bring solutions to the doorsteps of people. Thank you, Dr. Abayomi Ajayi, for coming on the show.
Sheriff, thank you. It's my pleasure. Thanks very much.
All right. There you go, Lagos. Dr. Abayomi Ajayi, a gynecologist here in Lagos, Nigeria. You can reach him. Whatever issues that you've got, feel free to reach him. I will try and forward him some of your messages, all right? But that's my cue to get out of the studio right now because Jimmy Disu is coming on Daily Digest. The Abayomi is for today. I am Sheriff Quadry. You can follow me on socials, on Twitter at Sheriff Quadry, on Instagram at Sheriff Quadry, across all my socials at Sheriff Quadry. Let's keep talking. Stay here on the nation's #1 talk station, Nigeria Info.